So, how different should a sequel really be? Ghost of Yotei does its best to follow up the amazing Ghost of Tsushima, expanding on the world, the gameplay, and giving us fans of the series a sequel that in some parts is going to be better than the original, yet at times does fall short during some really important sequences. I spent 70 hours in this world with just insane OCD, checking off everything there is to do in this game. Don't get me wrong, Ghost of Yotei is amazing. I think it's a great video game and it's an outstanding achievement, especially when it comes to that open world design. But the longer I was playing, the more the cracks started to show, and now in the post game, those cracks have really started to impact my enjoyment of the game. As a heads up, this game was not received for free. I pre-ordered this one and bought it. I've also got a newborn, so I experienced a lot of this game with interruptions and a lot of PlayStation Portal gameplay. So you're going to be seeing a lot of early footage here and maybe just some trailer footage. So let's start with the story. Ghost of Yotei has us in the shoes of Atsu, who is on a quest for revenge against the Yotei 6, who tried to kill her brother, and killed her parents. If the story sounds oddly familiar to the recent Assassin's Creed Shadows, it's because it basically is. And I'm not gonna lie, I went in a little bit cautious starting off just because I was worried that the story would be too samey, pretty predictable, and boring. I was actually surprised in the beginning because that first act really just blew me away. I'm gonna be adding some spoiler tags so you guys could skip, but I'm gonna have to talk some spoilers in the story to justify some of my issues when it came to the writing, but I am gonna be saving that for a later section. Right in the beginning of the game, you're going to drop right in and kill one of the members. It's kind of like a tutorial. His name is the Snake. Atsu has a cloth or like a belt thing that she has basically Yotei 6 names on it. And I mean, after every kill, she's going to cross it off with the member's blood. Really cool. But like looking back right now, it's like obvious who she is. I mean, what is this belt with the 6's name on it? Oh, don't worry about it. I'm just the bounty hunter. So yeah, I mean, looking back, it's aesthetically cool, but maybe just dumb. Either way, it's a typical revenge story, and what I really liked at first was just like cinematic execution of it, man. It feels so freaking badass. I think Atsu gives a really cool Kill Bill vibe. The game has this Japanese Western style when it comes to the cutscenes, and the voice actress just simply kills it with the amount of like emotion shown as range, and she's trying to avenge her family. Once you're in the open world, you can basically do whatever you want. I mean, shit, I was distracted for like 30 hours maybe before I actually crossed the next name on the list, who was the Oni. But at that point, I'd basically done every side quest, every bounty, every hot spring, every bamboo shrine, every wolf den, and every fox den in the area. And if that sounds like an insane amount of things, it's because it really freaking is. The open world is just absolutely massive, and it's done freaking right, man. I'm going to talk more open world later in the gameplay section, but I did want to get back to the Oni. I chose to go after him first because, one, I was close to that map marker, so why not? And also, that part of the story, man, it was just so freaking epic. I felt like the stakes were high. There was a really awesome twist early on that kind of kept me hooked and wanted me to like actually go through and complete that first. And I think that area for him, just looking back, it's an overall fun area, right? I mean, the stakes are high there. It does feel like, you know, basically this dude's just taking over the land. As I said earlier, I'm going to have to talk some spoilers because that's where a lot of my issues do lie. So here's a warning, guys. If you don't want anything spoiled, skip forward. I'm going to have the little chapters there. If you don't want it spoiled, just skip ahead. So last chance right here. This is where I'm going to talk. The second area for me is when things started to go wrong story-wise. It was really hard for me to buy the Kitsune's arc and forgiveness aspect. And it really just took the steam out of the revenge quest so soon. I mean, just a lot sooner than I expected. Atsu went from this ghost that's on a revenge quest to someone who grew, in my opinion, just way too freaking fast. And I just don't really feel like she lost herself to the darkness, despite people in the game trying to force and tell you that she was this monster and that, you know, revenge is bad. It was just so hard to buy. And I mean, only freaking time that I really felt like this like epic Onryo ghost was when you learn this new move and you slaughter the spider's troops when you're trying to capture him. Again, I'm not sure if the Oni was just done so freaking well that the Kitsune area was a letdown. I mean, the twist was nice, and I get that Atsu does fight her, but that ultimate forgiveness felt way too soon, putting into perspective that she's been training for like 15 years to get her vengeance, only to spare, but not only spare, but ally with someone who basically tried to kill her and her family. I guess saved her, but was an active participant in the killing of her family. Also, the Kitsune area, this is maybe just going into some gameplay, but it's spoilers. Man, the Kitsune area with those freaking just like puzzles, it really just felt like padding. It was getting on my nerves just how simple it was. I mean, this was supposed to be like a shinobi who's like a master of like figuring things out, and they just went quantity over quality. I mean, it felt like there was fox statues and stupid puzzles everywhere that were just literally like make them face each other or make it left, make it right. It really just was not it for me. I think also the spider's betrayal, sparing the spider and forcing this growth for Atsu, when again, in my opinion, guys, just my opinion, I don't really think she was that dark or vengeful yet. Her brother's death also felt super unnecessary and just unrealistic. I mean, this dude had a chance to escape. She told him, take your daughter and go. I've got this. It's really just the end right now. But he comes right back to help you and gets killed in the process. It really just felt like the writers wanted to teach you that revenge was bad. And I mean, we learned this in Last of Us 2, man. And it's really just become like this annoying cliche at this point. And again, the decisions that they were making just kept making it worse and worse. And it just felt like they were really trying to force this down our throat, man. So back to non-spoilers. Overall, man, the story was great for me. It did stumble at times and lose speed. Again, the Kitsune area was weaker in my opinion when it came to writing and the gameplay, at least in comparison to the Oni. I think the dragon and spider also seemed very rushed. The area there was the smallest, and the writing in the third area as well as the ending started to slip a bit in my opinion. So to wrap up my thoughts on the story, that Kill Bill Western vibe that you get in the beginning and during the Oni section starts to fumble a little bit as the game does move on, and it tries to just teach us a lesson. I prefer that more shallow revenge quest, and I really wish they went full into this whole darkness aspect of revenge with Atsu versus just telling us how bad she was without really showing it. When it comes to gameplay, guys, it is simply just better than the first game. And that's the question I have in the beginning when people are trying to be like, oh, I mean, it just looks like Ghost of Tsushima just reskinned. Well, no shit, man. That's what a sequel is. If it's not broken, there's no need to change it. And I'm really glad here that the changes that were made aren't too crazy from Ghost of Tsushima, because I thought Tsushima's combat and the gameplay was awesome. Atsu gets new weapons, you get ranged weapons, quickfire weapons to use in combat, each have strengths and weaknesses. Rather than deal with the Tsushima stances, you have dual blades against anyone that's got like a pole, a kusigarama. I'm probably just butchering what these are, man, but seriously, I'm just going off my head. Those are basically for anyone that's shielded. You've got this awesome stealth takedown that you could do with that weapon, by the way. You even have like this really long katana blade, I forget what it's called. I mean, and you get a pole as well. Either way, though, each weapon is going to benefit against different enemy types, and you're able to switch those weapons seamlessly right in combat by just like a quick slowdown. Even unlocking a move where like as you switch, you could just do an attack right away. But either way, guys, you can attack anyone you want with any weapon you want. You're just not going to break their stance as fast as you can. I mean, I love the dual blades. I think the dual blades are badass. There was nothing more cooler than just like using two swords to fight someone. So I use those a lot, whether they were effective or not. And on top of that, you are learning new moves. You could disarm an opponent. You could take their weapon and throw it at them, which doesn't get old, by the way. It's freaking awesome. The combat is simply just exhilarating. I think those fun battle set pieces are really awesome. And Yotei simply expands on what made Tsushima the best samurai video game I've ever played. You can go stealthy, end up needing to go loud, freak your opponents out and scare them with the Onryo's howl, and even recruit a wolf to help take down the Saito camps. You can't talk gameplay without referencing my favorite part of the game, and seriously why it took 70 hours to basically platinum at this point. I've got like maybe like 2 trophies left that I'm going to probably just knock out, because I really did everything, every freaking thing possible, thanks to that damn bird, man. The open world is so much less Ubisoft checklist based, and it just feels really alive. It just lends itself so well to the exploration. It's so easy to get distracted, easy to find something like a camp or a hot spring or fox dens. You learn songs that'll help you find these things. You could buy maps if you want, or hunt bounties for some cash. But at the end of the day, just natural exploration is where you find everything. And it does not feel like a freaking checklist with just like copy and paste areas that look the same, or those copy pasted camps. Everything in the game feels unique, including the random events and those random attacks that start happening a lot more often as the bounty hunters start looking for you as your bounty increases in, cash size. Everything flows so freaking well, although it does really feel like the same things that we did in Tsushima, right? I mean, I didn't hate it, but I can't admit that it's not enough of a change for anyone who probably played it recently. I haven't played since it came out, but yeah, I mean, the bamboo strikes or maybe the hot springs, it all can feel a little uninspired, but I didn't really have an issue with them. But it would honestly have been nice if it was just a little more different. Now for graphics and performance, Ghost of Yotei really knocks it out of the park here, guys. And that's thanks to Digital Foundry. I mean, whatever they were able to discover here. I was playing on my regular PlayStation 5 with the ray tracing mode on. I did not notice the FPS drop, which is I think around like 40 frames. The game looked and felt amazing. It rarely stuttered or had any pop in. It performed so freaking well, man, with only just like one bug that I experienced in all of my hours in the gambling den, where the coins disappeared and I lost maybe like freaking 3,000 gold. They did patch that, by the way, but not after I had just wasted a ton of money trying to figure it out. The open world is just so freaking breathtaking at times to where normies like my wife, who don't even play video games, would just walk by and just say, wow, that looked really nice. I was playing again on my OG PS5. I was playing on an LG OLED, my PlayStation Portal streaming device in bed or on the couch at times, and on my Samsung G9 at my desk. If you have a PlayStation Pro, it should definitely perform even better. Don't have one, and I can't really comment on it there. But if you're interested in more like details when it comes to performance or specifics, definitely check out the Digital Foundry review. I'm not a huge technical guy at any point, but they recommended ray tracing mode and I kept it there and it performed so well, man. One of the last things that I wanted to touch on is going to be the sound design and the outstanding music in this game. The music is just so freaking amazing and memorable. It's so good. The songs that you learn, the background music, the sound effects during battle, even those epic battle scenes, I mean, they really just transport you there and make you feel like you're in that moment. The music puts you in the world, makes you feel like you're a part of it, and just small things like climbing a mountain, having the wind blow, or the gravel cracking, cooking fish, or sparking a fire. All of the sound is just done so well. I think the music is done well, and I really just wanted to shout it out during this review, man, because it can't go unnoticed. To wrap up my thoughts on Ghost of Yotei, this is simply just another must-buy PlayStation exclusive, guys. If you like Ghost of Tsushima, Yotei in some ways expands on it, but it does stumble with a weaker story overall that does lose a little bit of steam. The open world is simply outstanding. It's seamless. It's full of things to do. Tons of fun side missions besides one area that pissed me off with this boring ass camp with the bear cub. If you're there, you know what I mean. That was the only time that shit got annoying. But other than that, there was awesome duels, bounties, tons of free cosmetics, by the way. I mean, there's nothing there to pay for. You have to look good when you're in combat, man. Seriously, there's a ton of hats, a ton of masks, different armor. I mean, outstanding music and sound effects. As a sequel, I think this really doesn't deviate that much from the original, but I think the combat improvement with the new weapons and the whole, if it's not broke, no need to fix it, is really the motto here, guys. Ghost of Yotei is a solid 8 out of 10. I think it's a definite buy. I would have honestly just rated it a lot higher if that story wasn't weaker than Tsushima. I was so into the story in the beginning, man. The Oni area is just simply outstanding. Like, this was 9 out of 10, maybe 10 out of 10 territory for me in the beginning, but I went into that Kitsen area. It started to slip, and then when you get to that final area with the odd ending choices and things like that, it really just, you know, the story just started to really just like get in the way of the game. But either way, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And I'm glad to say that the game is another amazing addition to an already stacked year in 2025 with just nothing but banger after banger of game releases, man. If you made it this far, thanks for stopping by. Let me know what you think of the game and the review in the comments. I mean, do you agree with the story issues, or am I overthinking? Also, check the link in the bio. Use code FOODEASY at G Fuel's website. You can get 20% off your next tub. I am read up on this whole new blend that they've got, man. It blends really freaking well. It tastes good. There's no grainy stuff at the bottom anymore. They have made something awesome even better. I've really just been using the shit out of this stuff, by the way, you know, during my leave right here with a newborn. So yeah, don't forget to get that 20% off during checkout using my code, and I'll see you guys on the next video soon. Thanks.